Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the HardBody Chronicle. Thanks for joining me again. I apologize for the delay in putting out a podcast. Just some real life stuff has been coming up, work and whatnot, so had to address that. But like I said, trying to be consistent with putting out content. Just want to give a shout out to all the people who have started following our live stream for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Started getting a few followers over there. Every time I put up a stream, I share it out to people, and people are actually watching it. I apologize. I'm kind of a garbage streamer. It's kind of hard to run a stream and be a host of the session. I don't know if that makes sense. But, I got people coming in and out pretty much throughout the entire stream. And I want to give a shout out to Rich Lich Glitch. He's been helping run the stream while I'm MIA, trying to be a good host to people, in my home playing Marvel too. So appreciate people just having the stream on, chatting. It's cool to see the progress that's made. I know I stream a pretty old game, at least compared to a lot of stuff out there nowadays, but Marvel 2 is my favorite fighting game, and there is interest from a small but passionate group of people. So shout out to all of you for following and our Twitch streams. It means a lot. It takes a lot of work to actually set all that stuff up, but I think I've got a pretty good quality stream, so feel free to check it out. I'll put all the links in the description below, and also that's why I upload the replays to YouTube. In case you guys want to check it out. We've got pretty good set of Seattle gamers that pull through, so it's always fun. And it's pretty crazy that each stream is about 5-6 hours each. So again, thanks for everybody who actually tunes in. If you have the whole stream for the entire duration of it, thanks a lot. I appreciate the views. And like I said, I'm just trying to grow it. It's kind of a niche fighting game, but it's something that we here in Seattle are passionate about. We have a small but dedicated community still trying to throw down in Marvel 2, so big ups to everybody. Like I said, we're just trying to keep it growing, and I keep uploading replays to the YouTube channel, so I just want to give a heads up to everybody who wants to check those out. So yeah, just like I said, just trying to be consistent. I don't know, there's some weird stuff with my green screen, but it's all good. It actually looks more mystical, but I'll take it. So yeah, just trying to be consistent. Like I said, I'm in a bit of a rough patch just personally, and I have no problem sharing that with people. I was, again, just seeing stuff on Twitter, and I came across a quote that I'm going to read to you now that just kind of, it's resonated with me for the last few weeks. It's pretty short though. It just says, everybody has a chapter that they don't read out loud. And I feel personally that I've got a ton of chapters that I've just never read out loud. And recently, just with just poor life choices that I've made, it's all come to a head. And, I'm going to put it out there. I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. I'm a sinner. And I need to be held accountable for all those things. And just telling my support groups, people that matter to me in my life, just letting them know, hey, look, I'm not as good as you thought I was. And just coming to terms with that for me is huge. I've always been good at just saying, everything's fine. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about me, but that's not the case. And the thing is, you always have a choice as to how you live your life, how you go about your business. And the choices can eventually get you out of a bad place. And for me, I think it's coming to terms with the fact that I'm not necessarily stuck because of my past and poor decisions. The choices I make can determine how the rest of my life plays out. And that's where I'm at right now. That's the work that I'm doing to try to better myself, be just a better human overall. I don't need to let my insecurities get the best of me. And that's essentially what has happened with me. I betray people's trust. I lie, and that's not gonna get me to where I want to be in life. That is not how to be a stand-up individual. That's not how to be a good friend, good partner, co-worker, leader. That you don't get anywhere by letting the things that bring you down dictate how you live your life. And it's not about making excuses, because there's always a choice, and that's something that I'm learning to process, learning to face head on, that I just have to make better choices. And I may keep messing up, but the intent behind my choices has to be correct. It has to be right. I'm not going to win every battle, so to speak, but as long as I give it my best and that I have good intentions behind the choices that I have, or the choices that I've made, that's what counts. And that's something that I'm just learning to incorporate in my life and in everyday life. I think I've gotten by just kind of, I don't know if it's sheer luck or I don't know what it is, honestly, but I think it's time to just acknowledge that I have a say in how my life plays out. I have a say in how I come across to people. And by making better choices and trying to be truthful and honest with myself and the people around me and how I treat everyone, those choices reflect my good intentions. And like I said, choices put labels on you. And if I make poor choices, I'm going to have all these labels on me of being a liar, being a cheater, being someone that's not trustworthy. And by the choices I make, those labels just get slapped all over my body. And then people just eventually start seeing, hey, you know what? This guy, he's a real piece of work, stay away. And as long as I make better choices and really think through what it is that I'm trying to do with myself, whether it's personally, whether it's business, whether it's, goals, that kind of thing, it all has to line up. And right now, those are the things that I'm working on. It's just, and it's an everyday thing. Like you got to just really take a look as to how you come across to people. And honestly, most of the work happens when no one's around, right? That's really when it's just you, between you and God, that you kind of see, hey, hey, Pablo, are you really sticking to what you're trying to do? Because I can't lie to myself at the end of the day. And the higher power that be, out there is looking and seeing what you're doing. So it's just kind of the things that happen behind closed doors. That's where the work is really happening. And that's just kind of where you have to be consistent with how you want to be, how you want to come across, and just really being honest with yourself as to what it is that you want out of certain things, whether that's goals, relationships, whatever it is that you're working on. It all has to align. So that's really where I'm at personally. It's an everyday thing. It's about being consistent. It's about just really taking the time to be introspective, meditating on how you have been acting, and really reassessing all the time. Are these choices getting me to where I want to be in life? And it's just about being honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. At the end of the day, if you've been a good person, if you made good choices, you can't just sleep it off, because the ramifications of those choices will just play out. And if they're poor choices, they're just going to keep bringing you down. And it's a matter of really doing the work and analyzing what it is that you want to do and just being honest with yourself. And for me, for a long time, it'd been really easy to lie to myself and say, hey, you know what? I'm good. Let's just keep it moving. When the reality of the situation was, no, I wasn't. And I was just lying to myself, lying to others, and just wasn't living my truth. I was deceiving everyone. And that is, at the end of the day, that's not going to get you anywhere. It's just only going to bring you down further and further to the point where you're going to be in such a rut that it's going to just take so long to get out of. So you got to essentially remove those barriers to change and just make sure that you are giving your best effort. Because even though I've done a lot of work recently, I can still mess up, but at least I'm putting my best foot forward and I'm being truthful and honest with how I proceed. And if I mess up, so be it, but at least I'm giving it my best effort. And no matter how hurtful or how painful that process is, I'm growing from it. And that's when the growth happens, right? When you fall, you get back up, you learn from that mistake, and you just keep it moving. And just keep moving forward. Just don't regress. So those are the things that I'm working on personally. Just want to say that it's it's always easier said than done. But I want to say to anybody out there who's going through any kind of struggle, just try to make things bite size. So take it one step at a time. If it's, something like diet, hey, you know what? Maybe take a look at what you're really eating every day. Are you getting the right kind of exercise? Are you eating the right things? Proteins, fats, macros, whatever it is that you're trying to work on. Whether it's work, is it a project they're working on? Is there an issue with a coworker or your team? And just trying to break things down to bite-sized chunks. I think for me, that's always helped. And for me personally, breaking down issues and journaling about them, that has gotten me, it's gotten me further than a lot of other things. I've tried having like a running notepad on my phone, but that never really panned out. But actually physically writing everything out for me has been the best. So just like I said, everyone's going through their own struggles. Everyone's got issues they're working through. And I think just being cognizant of that also, that everyone is going through their own thing, and just try to be kind to one another. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at personally. And just want to give everyone an update that I'm constantly working on myself. And really that's what HardBody is all about. This is about bettering yourself. It's about ascending to a better version of yourself. And that's a constant process. You're not the same person you were last year. And if you were, then you got to reassess what's really going on. What are you doing with your life? Just try not to be stagnant. You can always grow. You can always learn. There's always something out there that can pique your interest, whether it's a hobby or learning a new thing. There's always something that can motivate you to improve upon yourself and just make you aim higher for, bettering yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. So just try to always keep those things in the front of your mind, and just always look for something to work on, because there's always something that we can improve on. And so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I appreciate everybody who again keeps up with the podcast. On the business side, just want to give a shout out to Kevin, being a partner of the podcast. He's over there at Papa's Apothecary. They make awesome products. I'll put their links below in the description. They've been a partner with us for a minute. Hands down the best beard oil and now hair oil no flyaways, and keeping me nice and moisturized, no flakiness, none of that gross stuff. So please check out the products. I'll put their links down below. So yeah, thanks, Kevin. He's an herbalist out of Bastyr University, so he knows what he's doing. Check him out, please. More business updates. So there is actually something that I just saw, and there's an old man video game tournament coming up. And by what I mean by old man gaming is that, video games, particularly fighting video games that are, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 years old at this point, like Marvel 2, which came out, I think, 2000. Yeah, 2000, year 2000. So yeah, 20-year-old video games, fighting games. There's going to be an old video game, retro gaming, whatever you want to call it, fighting game tournament coming up in May. It's called Fight Kingdom. And I'll put their links down in the description below if you want to check it out. And what they're doing is just pretty much going to have a tournament for old video games. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of them. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, among others. And so it's unlike newer fighting game tournaments like Street Fighter 5, Guilty Gear, and all that, which are games that are cool, but I don't play. I haven't kept up with them. I just don't have the time. And as an old gamer, I don't want to learn new games. Like, I just want to play the games that I find fun. So that's kind of where I'm at in my gaming life. I don't know if you can call it that. But it seems like they're gonna have vendor tables, and I'm in talks right now. I haven't finalized everything, but depending on how that goes, I more than likely will have an actual vendor table at Fight Kingdom, and I'm gonna have merchandise for sale in person. So this will be your chance to actually purchase product from HardBody, and I haven't finalized exactly what lines I'm going to have. I have a little bit of merch on hand, but I want to have enough to appease the masses who will be interested in my merchandise. And I'm thinking of having hoodies, t-shirts, maybe some workout gear. I haven't finalized the setup yet, but that is something that I'm working on. So I don't want to say too much, but just keep an eye out. I'm still finalizing the details with the organizers, so shout outs to everybody at Fight Kingdom. I'll put their Twitter link in the description below. You want to check them out. Anybody who's a old school gamer and wants to come out to Seattle for an old school gamer tournament, then come up and just see what's going on. It's being thrown by some good people in the community. They've been around for a minute. They're trustworthy individuals, so it'll be awesome to get this up and running. I'm pretty hyped about it. So like I said, I'm going to try to finalize some of the details, and then hopefully next podcast I'll have more concrete information and details as to how that's going to play out. So like I said, thanks to everybody who's been keeping up with the podcast. I'm just trying to spread positivity and share my journey along the way. I just really want HardBody to be a movement for just bettering yourself. It's a constant process. HardBody is about being persistent and just taking on all challenges. It's about being positive, being good to everybody. It's about both, mind, body, spirit. It's encapsulating all that. So it's a lifestyle brand, and I just want to say shout out to everybody who's been following. I love you. Blessings to all you. I'll catch you next time. Thank you.